Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
What's up, podcast family? Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 462. I'm Phil Graham. Today, I've got a really interesting episode for you guys today because I'm going to be talking about why you might want to stop copying your competitors' Facebook and Instagram ads. That's right. Welcome to mid-March 2026, and I am glad you guys are here. There's so many people, so many advertisers that see a competitor running an ad, whether they're looking at it just as it hits them on their Facebook feed, or maybe they're looking at the Facebook ad library, and they're like, oh, I can see they've been running this ad for 3 months or 6 months or a year, and they assume it's got to be working, because they wouldn't keep running it for so long if it wasn't. And then they copy the ad. Maybe they just copy the angle, maybe they copy the whole ad, and then it flops and they completely wasted their money. Well, today I'm going to explain why copying your competitor ads can sometimes actually do that and could absolutely hurt your performance and cost you time and money, and why you really don't want to be doing that. So before we jump into the content, if you guys are looking for some help with your ads, whether that's somebody to run your ads for you, or you want some one-on-one coaching and consulting that is specific to you, specific to your exact business, for either one of those things, just go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, or DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital, and let's connect. So let's talk about one of the first big problems when advertisers are copying their competitors' ads. Number one, you might actually be copying ads that don't work, that have actually lost money, ads that are failures. And you might say, well, if they've been running them for 6 months or 9 months, they gotta work. They wouldn't be wasting their money. You would be shocked. There are so many advertisers that don't know what's going on, and they continue to run ads over and over and over again, even if they don't work. It's kind of crazy. So this happens all the time. So don't think just because you see an ad that's been running for a long time, you cannot assume that it works. It might, but it might not. You definitely cannot assume. Just that alone should help you. Don't assume it works just because it's been running a long time. There's a lot of, I'm not going to say dumb, but there's a lot of not smart advertisers out there. Let's just put it as nice as we possibly can, because I've seen it over and over and over again. Inside ad accounts, mind you. I'm not just like guessing. I've seen it. All right. So that's the first part. There's a good chance you're copying losing ads that are losing that advertiser money. And then what happens when you do it? So there's that. But let's set that aside for a second, and let's pretend like you get lucky and you just randomly pick an ad that is not losing an advertiser money. Let's say you picked a good one, so to speak. Here's the problem. The situations are different. There's so many variables. Whoever you're copying might have more brand equity than you. They might have huge retargeting pools of people. They might have been doing it a long time. They might have a lot of years of trust built, a lot of years of credibility that are built. And you also just can't see their metrics. You can't see their data. So you're just copying surface level stuff, not their system. So you definitely don't have all of the info that you need. And I've got a couple perfect examples for you because I've run a lot of ads for a lot of years for all kinds of different industries. I was working with a gym franchise, and I ran ads for them in one state for a certain franchise location. And I created all the ad copy and everything. So it was out of my head. And it was crushing it. They literally had to turn the ads off because it was doing so well. Well, being a franchise, they had me do some of their other locations too. And so the exact same gym, even the exact same brand, I took the exact same ad that I created for them and used it for the same franchise, but it was in a different state, but the same name, same everything. And that ad ended up doing horrible. The exact same ad that had to be turned off because it was so good did horrible in a different state, even though it's the exact same company, same product. It was a gym, same thing. So there's so many different variables. Now, with that other state, what did we have to do? We had to figure out a different strategy, try some different things until we would find something that worked. That's normal. That's how ads work. Even if you somehow pick a winner to copy, which a lot of times you're going to be copying a loser and you don't know it. But even if you pick a winner, that doesn't mean it's just going to work. There's so many variables. You just don't have all the info. One other quick example I'll give you is a bunch of years ago, I lost a lot of weight and I just went beast mode in the gym. So I was going twice a day, like morning and night, doing the stairs. Actually, it was kind of nuts. I actually did like 90 minutes on the stairs in the morning on the Stairmaster. If you guys know anything about stairs, that's insane. But then I would come back later that day or night and do another 90 minutes. Like it was crazy. And so I lost a lot of weight in relatively a short amount of time. And so people at the gym actually started coming up to me. They're like, dude, what are you doing? This is insane. This is incredible. And somebody actually came up to me later in the process and said he watched what I did. This was the morning crew at the gym. He watched what I did. And so he tried to kind of copy exactly. He watched and saw what I did every single day, and he copied that. And he got some results, but it wasn't as fast as mine. But the thing is, he assumed that that was my only workout of the day because he didn't see what else I did that day. So he actually didn't know that I came back later that day or that night and did it again. He didn't have that information. So he was making judgments and decisions based off of not having all the data. And so this happens all the time with ads. So when you're trying to copy an ad, again, so much of the time, you're going to be copying a losing ad and not even know it. But even when it's not a losing ad and you copy it, it's probably not going to work anyway for all the reasons that I've just shared. And then the other point about this that's really important is a lot of advertisers copy and clone ads. And now there's AI that spits them out and software that does it for you. And where do they get that? From all the other existing ads that are running and that have been running for a long time. And so you've got all this crap that's out there. And guess what? Everything starts looking and sounding the same. It's generic. There's no differentiation. That's not good. You don't want to be doing that. That's going to make it so much harder. So I'm not saying don't look at what's out there. You can look at competitor ads and absolutely get some good ideas. And the thing is, if you get a good idea from an ad that you see, you can apply it to your ad without totally copying them and make it your own and make it specific to your strengths and your audience and stuff like that. So I'm not saying don't look at anything and just ignore it, but I am saying don't just copy what you see because it's probably going to fail. So in general, though, to summarize, instead of asking, hey, what are my competitors doing and what can I copy? I would actually say you have a much better chance of success if you ask, what are my competitors doing and what can I do that would be completely and totally different? I think you have a much better chance if you do that, my friends. And as always, just a reminder, it's always important to point out that every business is unique. Results can vary. There's no guaranteed outcomes. So always keep that in mind. I hope that was helpful. Episode 462 is in the books. If you want to get in touch, philgrahamdigital.com is the website, or DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. I'll have another great episode for you next Tuesday, as usual. Until then, I hope you have a great week. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.